G'day folks, Pakiera here and welcome back to another episode of How To, a tutorial series from Farm Simulator 22, covering hopefully some of the very basics to get you up and running. One thing I wanted to do today is to show you how to set up your keybinds and any wheels, gamepads, joysticks that you may have. And my main recommendation, the big recommendation here, is to set them all through the options screen here in the main menu. So let's click into options now. Before we kick off, I'll let you know that I am not a console player. I do use PC. I do not have any Xbox or PS controllers. I use a Logitech G29 wheel and pedals, as well as a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick to do a little bit, some pieces. Everything else is by keyboard and my mouse. So in the general settings here, we have pretty much the language you want to use and the input help mode. Just leave it on auto. Import controls are on. So these are all defaults. Some of them have been changed for myself. Head tracking off unless you have track IR. Force feedback. Now I have my wheel set at 40%. You will have to play around with your own, if you do use a wheel, for example, what you feel is working better. And I use the Logitech G Hub as well as the in-game settings to try and get a feel that I am happy with. Okay, and of course the invert while look is off. We'll go to sound. Again, it's a bit straightforward. You can set all your sounds what you want based on your own settings. Very simple here to start with. And then we've got the display settings. It should automatically display by you. You can obviously manually change things. And we go into here to the keyboard controls. Now these are set for my preferences. A lot of the keyboard ones are generally default. Walk backwards, the old WASD keys here. To look up, right, left and down are the arrow keys which you can use. Run is hold left shift, jump is space, and crouch is control. All these are default. Build mode is left shift plus P. So that takes you directly to the build mode, which I may cover in a future tutorial. Now when it comes to driving here, again, these are just all your basic keyboard controls. You can see here gamepad controls for mouse, and anything else is not there yet. I will show you how to change these. This is just the keyboard controls. So again, accelerate, WASD, same as you're walking around. And a lot of these, look, to be honest, a lot of these I don't use. The access ones I don't touch. Cruise control, horn, enter for the start stop engine. So I'll just scroll down quickly, slowly, and you can just see this and how you do it. Okay, just there. You can pet, because you can pet your dogs. Okay, flashlight F, use object R, very common ones here. Again, vehicle ones. It's up to you how in depth you want to go, and you can play around based on what you're using and what you feel comfortable with. A lot of these ones, like the left shift plus J, I don't use, and sometimes I haven't got around to it yet. But if we get into my wheel, you'll see a lot of these I actually have deleted out, so it's not even a keybind. Enter key for E, page up, page down is your zoom in, zoom out, but I always use my wheel here for the mouse. It's a scroll wheel. If your mouse has one, I think it's a lot easier. Switch the next vehicle is tab, so it's another good one there. Q is auto detach, or attach to tool. Next tool. So the tools, when they refer to tools, they talk about different parts. That can be your tractor, it can be a cultivator or some equipment. It can even be the weights on the front of your tractor. And all these other ones as well. Dump, which is basically you can dump it, which is the same as unload. Lower tools. So there's all these things that you can play around with. I recommend just having a fiddle with. If you're using a wheel, map them to it. But these are, like I said, the keyboard, the basic default keyboard settings to an extent as well. Okay, just right there. And front loader ones, which I use for some of these for joystick, but again, I've never touched these with any of my keyboard settings. And just scroll down, and placeables, again, I use a lot of it with my mouse work and camera. So that changes the camera from in cab or out of the cab. Pause is obviously pause game. Some of the basic game ones there. P for the shop, which we will talk about later, and just some other simple, easy ones. And of course, if you're going to use if you want to use a gear stick, you can have that modded into or modeled in. Otherwise, there are keys to use them as well, including the lights. And you'll see here my lights, I've got them activated with my wheel as well, and the radio. So basic settings there, straightforward. Now if I click X here, I can go to Gamepad controls. So this will cover, for me, it covers my wheel plus my joystick. And you'll see I've got a lot of this blanked out because I've got it set for the only ones that I use. So acceleration, brake, left, right steerings, all through my wheels and pedals here. Nothing else. My horn is set to a certain key. My start, stop, engine is another key as well. Same to kicking in cruise control. So yeah, I would recommend you doing all this. It's just a lot of it's blanked out. If you're using a gamepad, a wheel, just blank out what you're not going to associate with your wheel, and then everything else is basically going to be keyboarding, right? You can see here, that's my wheels for lowering tools. Most of it is my wheel, and it tells you there then as well. So unloading, I'm going to scroll down just to show you there. I do have some of my joystick controls here as well, and so very limited. And how do you do this? Well, let's show you how we can do it. So even if we just do it for my wheel, you want to do is to change a setting. This goes for any of the gamepads or the keyboard. You click on that, you'll get this little message up here. So if you want to just remove any key binding, you press a backspace and you'll see it's disappeared. If I want to add one in, you just press the corresponding key. So again, what I'm doing now is I'm going to push the accelerator on my pedals, and that's rebounded it. Okay. Now make sure you do here is once you've made any changes, save the controls, okay? Because if you just exit out, you're not going to save any of the changes you made. And it gives you has been remapped, okay? Just gives you a bit of a thing there. If you really make a mess up and you want to reset to defaults, you can just reset all and then reset everything to the game defaults. Now down here we got the sensitivity, and you can go into a little bit more detail, so you can switch the device between anything else. So that's my joystick, that's my mouse, that's my wheel, okay? And so yeah, so for example, the dead zone for your steering, accelerating brake, it will differ. I'm not going to do an in-depth tutorial on how to set up wheels because it's not thing I just go by my feel. It changes per person, you know, and there's other probably videos out there too if you really want to get stuck into how to set it up a perfect style. But this will give you an idea of just how you can change the devices and everything else. So very simple. Hopefully you'll found something out of this. That is today's little how-to. Just how you get in here again, your keybinds, add in what you want to do, scroll up, scroll down. Now because if we are using mods and we are not in the series, all your mods would show down at the bottom here as well. So each mod will have its own keys and keybinds for different aspects. They would then still be under this as well, okay? So the mapping would still be the same. Alright folks, I will leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you want any clarification or anything else as well. I'll be happy to help the best I can. Till next time, I am Pakira as always. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you next time. Kia kaha.